You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 419 of Podketeers. This week we talk about the new summer drink that's taking the Disney community by storm. We get a peek at the updated Nemo Submarine Voyage. Weird Al is in a Star Wars project. A theme park is closing. Random drinks. Santa has a new clause. We talk about the ending of Obi-Wan and more. Plus, it's our 8th anniversary. Yay! As always, we'd love to hear how you feel about the things that we talk about in this episode, and you can join the conversation on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Just search for Podketeers, but we'd love it if you join us on our Discord server. Joining the community is super simple. Just head on over to the blog post for this episode at podketeers.com/419. Click on the Discord logo, or you can click on the link in our pinned IG story. A very special thank you goes out to an awesome group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. As part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for Podketeers gear, additional content like the Podketeers After Show, and access to our happy hour calls, just to name a few. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP. And as always, a super special thank you goes out to the FGP Squad for their continued support. Okay, it's time to get the episode started, but before we do, I just want to take a moment to echo what I said on Instagram, because even though a lot has changed since we first launched the podcast 8 years ago, the one constant is you. In a world that's just crazy full of content, we're honored and feel privileged to know that you chose to make us a little part of your world, and that is just never lost on us. This community that we've built together means so much to us, and it's your support that helps keep us going. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. So with that, if this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. We hope that you enjoy the episode and that you come back for more. And of course, if you've been hanging with us for a while now, welcome back, friends. Here is episode 419 and the kickoff to year 9 of Podketeers. Back to the old school, because I'm an old fool who's so cool.
Oh, don't wreck yourself.
You have to
right,
check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah, you got to say it just like that too, Andrew.
Chickadee,
Just
check yourself.
Listen here, Heyzen. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself, buddy boy.
I'll do
just
my
like the
best to
record.
do that.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing like Carlton or something. I don't know.
It's not
I
unusual.
just realized that we started recording and I am out of I have my water, but usually I have a couple different drinks on my desk with me. I'm out of my other drink. I didn't go back to get a refill, so I'm going to have to only do water while
I'll
we're
hand you
recording
this
today.
one.
Oh,
What's that
It's
one?
Clear American Cherry Vanilla. I don't know. I just bought it at the store. I was at the store this afternoon after work. And, I drink I'll say too many sodas a day. However many you think that is, I will leave that up to you. I drink too many of them a day. And so I'm trying to find something that, maybe it has some sweetener in it, but maybe isn't as bad for you as a thing with a cup full of sugar in it or whatever.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I picked up this, it's called Clear American Cherry Vanilla, little bottle, and it's got some aspartame in it. But, a whole bottle of this, let's see, 1 quart, 10 calories per container, no sugar, but it's got this aspartame. But hey, whatever. It tastes pretty good for the soda drinker that I am. So I guess somewhat good recommendation if you're trying to cut back on your soda. This so far tastes pretty okay. We'll see how. I'm only about 2 inches down the bottle. We'll see what happens as it goes, but pretty solid flavor for what it is, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a food reviewer, so give it a shot, I guess.
Yeah, I've had those before. They're tasty. They have like an orange creamsicle one that I really love. I've gotten that same style at, I don't know how far this supermarket chain expands as far, like how far out from Southern California it goes, but there's a Stater Brothers near me. That's the supermarket. And the ones they have at Stater Brothers are fantastic. They have like a black cherry one. They also have their own version of like the orange creamsicle one. And I'm all about those flavors. So much so that, you know, that second drink that I was having right now, this is what it is. I was at the store the other day, and they had these Aranciata San Pellegrino, like half the price than they're normally listed for. And so I took a chance on it because it's got a big old orange on it, and I thought, how bad could it be? I mean, if it's sparkling water, I'm pretty used to it. I drink like Spindrift and these other like different ones, like Waterloo
Polar
and everything. So
and all those weird ones.
Yeah, so I'm okay with sparkling water, right? This one actually is sweet. It actually does have like natural sweeteners from the orange that they squeeze in here. And so earlier today, I took one of these cans, added a little bit of ice, a little bit of water, and some coconut creamer, some coconut sweet cream, and I made one of the best orange creamsicle drinks I've had at my desk this year.
We got a regular mixologist over there. I don't know, like you're just mixing all kinds. I never would have thought to put it's like coffee creamer, like
it's
put
coffee
creamer in with some sparkling water. Like,
it made sense.
You know
to
what?
me.
It's more power to you. I tell you what. I don't know. Tell you what, like Hank Hill. I don't know. I'll tell you what, Heyzen. But yeah, that's quite interesting. I mean, there's so many things that the drinks that have existed that you never think of. I remember one time we were out to eat, and she got a Dr. Pepper and milk, and put.
Oh, I've heard of this before. Apparently, like in the Midwest, it's like this huge, like at their soda fountains, they get this, and it is like apparently so good.
I couldn't get myself to try it. I was a little appalled, but then you think about it, and like you think about like a root beer float or something like that. It's basically the same idea, but it just like took me aback. I mean, this is a while ago. I'm like, milk and Dr. Pepper. Okay, you do you, but I don't know if I could put some, 2% in with the Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. I've seen this on TikTok. That's where I became aware of it. I saw like 2 people post it because apparently there was this other trend going around of people using balsamic vinegar and what was the other thing?
Bread.
But apparently balsamic vinegar and sparkling water or something like that apparently tasted exactly like a Dr. Pepper. I was like, your taste buds are wrecked if you think that tastes like a damn Dr.
Literally
Pepper.
everyone that says, this tastes exactly like Dr. Pepper. I've tried them all. It doesn't taste like Dr. Pepper. Just give me something that tastes good. Like, I don't care if it tastes like Dr. Pepper. I just want it to taste good. I had to get lemon. It was the one that my wife saw on TikTok was like, get lemon sparkling water and then put black cherry Mio into it, and I tried. I was like, that would just taste weird.
Yeah, that reminds me. Every time I see those posts, it just reminds me of Mitch Hedberg when he's like, they say that the recipe for Sprite is lemon and lime, but there's got to be more to it. I tried it, and it tastes nothing like it. I'm paraphrasing, but you get it. So yeah, I mean, I probably am not going to try the balsamic vinegar one because that just sounds nasty.
I would agree.
Does it taste good? I don't know. If anybody out there's tried it, let me know. Drop us a message. To me, it doesn't sound good. But I do.
And what do you want to be
tend
drinking
mix random
vinegar
things.
for anyway? Like, that just sounds like, I don't know. Anyway, you're mixing random drinks. I'm still just
I do it all the time.
Trying to make
vinegar
salad dressing or drinks.
And then you put a little oregano in there, and you put it in the shake it up, and
put a little bone broth in there. You got yourself a nice soup.
sprig of something.
There we go.
Yeah.
Pepper soup.
No, but yeah, I try a lot of different drinks, and the creamer one, it felt like they belong together for some odd reason, and I don't know why, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm so glad that I did because it was good. Anyhow, enough about that. Actually, you know what? Let's do a little more drink before we move on because If you've been on social media at all, you've probably seen that Starbucks has a brand new refresher that is taking the Disney community by storm because it tastes exactly like Dole Whip.
Ooh.
Well, ish. So it is the new #not sponsored Paradise Refresher from Starbucks. A lot of people are calling this the Dole Whip drink. I posted about this on our Discord channel a couple days ago. We tried it, and it doesn't taste exactly like Dole Whip. I think people tend to taste something with pineapple and they immediately make the connection because it's such a strong connection for Disney fans. But I mean, if you need something to kill the craving, it's good. You know, this is one of those refresher drinks that I would get again. You know, and I typically don't get refreshers. Like, I normally just get coffee from Starbucks, and I'm boring. I'm like, just large, regular black coffee. That's it. Or sometimes I go nitro cold brew if I'm feeling like, real crazy, right? But this one, I would actually get this again. I would recommend that if you get it with less ice, because the more the ice melted, it was kind of bleh towards the end. But then again, a lot of drinks towards the end kind of taste bleh once the ice begins to melt. So another thing is the ingredients that they had like pineapple chunks and a couple different types of juices. I think it's like a pineapple passion fruit or something like that. The different juices that they mix into it tend to separate as you're drinking it, so you have to constantly be just stirring it.
That's the Starbucks thing. That's the Starbucks carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
The shake.
Oh, dude, we're gonna make millions if we can invent a straw that's auto stirring. Let's get on that.
Oh, auto stir.
So boom, patent pending.
Yeah,
patent pending. Let's just yell it out.
Auto stir.
You know, they have those. My sister has one. It's a coffee mug that has, you press a button and it stirs. You just need to get those Starbucks tumblers with a button that. Everybody's
we gotta invent
patent pending that thing too.
Yes, we're gonna do it with the Starbucks tumblers.
TM.
Boom,
Trademark.
got it.
Boom.
TM.
Starbucks, if you come up with that, we know you took it from us. Cut us off a little.
Yeah, just a little.
Break us off some.
Another invention. Now we're jumping on
Podketeers, the official podcast of Starbucks.
Right? We can do it. If you are curious about it, I definitely would recommend it.
Is it like tea though?
No,
is there any tea notes in it?
I don't think so. I think it's literally just a couple of juices that they mix together with a couple of like elements of like fresh fruit and stuff like that, or frozen fruit to help cool down the drink as well. But I mean, it's good.
Gotcha.
If anything, the passion fruit maybe is the tea part of it, but you don't taste the passion fruit as much. It actually tastes more pineapple and orangey than anything else. Like, if you didn't tell me it was passion fruit, I could swear to you that they added pineapple juice and orange juice to it. Because just
a lot of those
the flavor
sweetened
profile.
drinks they have are like tea based.
Yeah.
That's why I don't usually.
Well, they have
get
like
them.
those shaken
But
lemonades
from this
too.
Are they shaken, not stirred?
Oh,
Nice.
here we go.
You know, and if you need that Dole Whip fix, you can always go. They have this thing. It's called the grocery store. And if everything tastes like a Dole Whip, you know, you just go to the grocery store. And they have this great section called the fruit section, and they have these things called pineapples. And you go in there, you grab a pineapple, and then you peel the skin off and you eat it. And then there you go. There's your Dole Whip
so
fix.
much work. Oh.
Okay, here you go. I got a better one. You go to the canned food aisle, and they have this stuff called pineapple chunks. And
Pineapple
you
chunks.
open the
Yum.
can and you eat
I'm
it.
there,
And you
dude.
drink the juice out of a can.
That's a
The
good
juice
question.
out of a can of
How many
pineapple
people have
chunks
done that?
tastes exactly like the pineapple juice.
That's like good memories for me doing that. I just haven't done that in a while.
So believe it or not, I actually
Okay.
experimented with this.
Okay.
So I bought pineapple chunks. I got some of the, not coconut creamer, but actual coconut milk in the cans, right? That the thicker version of it. I got some of that, and I got one other thing, but I mixed them all together, and I tried to freeze it and see if I can make like a pineapple soft serve. It was good, but it tasted nothing like a Dole Whip.
Yikes.
Yeah, no, I mean it
A
froze,
lot of water
but
got in there.
yeah, there was a lot of water, so it like it was too icy. It felt more like
Pineapple Slurpee.
shaved ice than it did like an actual like
So you're
soft
chipping
serve or
away
anything
for
like
the
that.
flavor.
Yeah, it wasn't as satisfying as I thought it was gonna be. Do I feel like I wasted it? Nah,
It tasted
because I
fine.
ate it anyway.
It just wasn't a Dole Whip.
Yeah, it just wasn't a Dole Whip. But then it's funny because when we were having the conversation on the Discord server, FGP member Brian was like, well, you could just go to Menchie's and get the pineapple whip. And I was like, yeah, I know, but then I got to put pants on, right? And I got to go somewhere
and it costs $48.
Yeah, like a $3 ice cream costs you an arm and a leg.
And then I still need the pineapple juice from the grocery store to pour on it, because you can't just have a Dole Whip. You got to have a Dole Whip float. That's the only way I eat a Dole Whip.
Yeah.
Dole Whip
The
float.
float.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
No other way. I mean, you could eat it, but whatever.
So now you're making the argument again, Andrew. Starbucks, if you want this, then you're doing the convenience factor.
There you go.
I'm
So
just
you
saying.
DoorDash a Starbucks refresher and a pineapple whip from
There it is.
Menchie's. It's going to cost you $322 to get DoorDash to your house. And then you can have a facsimile of a Dole Whip. That probably
Still cheaper than gas.
You know who? Okay, so there's the argument of also, I think somebody else, like further down in the stream, said, hey, look, if I'm just going to try to get Dole Whip, you could also just go. Oh, because Jill said you could go to Joe's Italian Ice, which is in Anaheim. They have amazing ice creams. They have amazing shaved ice there. It's just a few blocks away from Disneyland. And then the argument was made that if you're going to go all the way to Anaheim, just go to Disneyland and get the Dole Whip inside of Disneyland.
But what if I don't have a reservation?
But exactly. If you don't have a reservation, if you don't want to have to buy a ticket or anything like that, then there are alternatives, right? There are actual franchises. We used to have it at our local Menchie's, and then they stopped carrying it for a while. It's kind of sporadic when they have it available. I know that there's other frozen yogurt places and ice cream places that carry their alternatives. Out in Huntington Beach, there's this really great place called Hula Girl Shaved Ice that has like the exact formulation of Dole Whip. There's certain times that I've had that one that I thought theirs is better. I know that's not the popular thing to say, but it is good. So if you're out near the beach, Huntington Beach, and you want like that treat, Hula Girl Shaved Ice, # not sponsored, right?
Yet,
right. But there are alternatives. You just have to be willing to go searching for them.
or you could get a plane ticket, fly to Hawaii, go to the Dole
Sold.
Plantation or whatever it is. I'm sure they have it there. I don't know.
They do.
I mean,
they
there's
have.
also Alani. They have it there, I'm pretty sure, as well. But
That's now you sold it.
there you go.
You know what? Just spend the money on the plane
ticket to
Forget about
Hawaii.
going.
Yeah.
That's the winner. That's the
We've
winner.
circled
We went
back.
from a $3 Dole Whip
to a
Went to a
$5,000
Starbucks
trip to
refresher.
Hawaii.
saving you money all the way home.
Logic after 2020 makes complete sense.
That's funny.
All right, I got to drink another little bit of this. Hold on. Here's a...
All right, so a couple things I want to talk about. One thing is, I've talked about this several times. You guys know I'm huge on collecting cards, and it's very appropriate that later in the episode we're going to be talking about Obi-Wan, because today I received a pre-order for some cards that I've been waiting for 2 months now, 3 months now. I don't remember. But it is
The Great Wait. Here we go.
the Star Wars gold foil edition of the Star Wars cards by Theory 11.
Nice.
So they have actually released
Very
these cards
nice.
before. They have a few different versions. They have the light side, they have the dark side, they have like a blue and red version, and then
So
they have
shiny.
a version that's white and black with different colors. But this one, I think, was probably the most anticipated one, because if you look at the ace, you can't really see it.
No, there's a
on
TIE
the
fighter in
webcam.
there.
There is a TIE fighter in the ace of spades.
Whoa.
However, the backs are completely gold foil.
Nice.
And
Very nice.
it doesn't do it any justice.
Well, I mean, it's
On the webcam.
It's just so shiny it can't show up.
I
Like
know.
it's
With your
it's
human
that
eye.
good. Like it's so reflective. The gold.
Okay, here.
The foil
Here,
is
this is what I'm going to do.
on
Okay,
another
he's
level.
gonna
I-
set some up.
Here. I am actually going to post this on Discord as we are recording. We are recording
Live.
Ep419,
It's like a sneak
and
peek.
I was talking about these cards. Hopefully this picture does them justice. Because I took a picture to send to my brother because I told him, hey, we got our cards.
To whom it may concern. I'm trying to remember a Brian Regan joke, and I can't. It's texting. I can't do it. But if you know the Brian Regan texting joke, that's what I was going for there.
Oh, yeah. I remember it now.
Mr. Yo-Yo is not at this number. I'm waiting for it. Oh, hey, it says we are recording episode 418, and I was talking about these cards. Hopefully this picture does them justice.
Oh, no.
And then I have to
It did
download
not.
a link.
No, hold on.
Download the file.
Hold on.
Open the file. Open it with my pictures. There it is.
I don't like
Oh,
this.
it's 'cause you uploaded it.
I downloaded it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow, you got it? Did you pull it down and put it back
I am
up?
doing
Wow.
that, actually. I know why.
Damn, beat you
Because
to the
it
punch.
was taken with an iPhone, and the iPhone photos are with that HEIC. It's not like a JPEG.
Take it with an iPhone.
I did take it with an iPhone.
Brian Regan.
Why did it? That's
Brian
weird.
I took it down. I'm going to try it again.
Texting.
So anybody that saw it is like, what's going on? Heyzen's crazy. What is up with this guy? I've done it before, too. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. You know what? This is easier. Why don't I just take a screenshot so that it... Yes. That functions. Okay, here we go. So back to Discord. Oh, nope, not what I wanted. There we go.
Ah, there it is.
So now it's an actual post. Now you don't have to download anything. I should have actually taken a picture of the cards, but I'll probably post one later. The point is, the cards actually look really nice. The tuck box or the tuck case that they come in has like this like velvety feel to the box. Wherever there's black and there isn't like a foil stamp on it. And it is...
Like the
I buy a lot of cards
like,
from 311.
The box is like soft.
Yeah, it's got like this velvety consistency to everywhere that's black that's not foil stamped on it. It feels really nice. It's very
Okay.
it feels premium.
like a satin something or another.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not like
And
a suede or something like that.
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But I will say that if any of you like cards, if any of you are just Star Wars fans and you're looking for something kind of cool, definitely recommend this deck of cards. Theory 11, if you want to help us sponsor, some giveaways and send me a few decks to give away, I'm totally for it.
Yeah, in Theory
I'm
11,
up
you want to
for it.
make me like a Roger Rabbit one? I'll buy that. Or like Solid deck, Indiana Jones deck. Come on, get some like niche stuff.
Indiana Jones would be good.
Yeah, would.
Yeah.
And then like the kings and queens, and like you could be like Indiana Jones and Marion and Sala and Willie and Short Round and all kinds of stuff. And you know what? And then the Joker could be like a boulder. I don't know.
A snake.
A snake. Yes, I guess it could be a snake. I was like, it could be a Nazi, but that's like kind of not great. But
No.
that's also snake.
No.
It could be a snake, or it could be
Why
or a
does it
snake.
always have to be snakes?
There was a thing. Okay, we're going on a tangent here. we brought up
there we
Indiana Jones, and now I'm on a tangent. Some website that provides subpar news and clickbaity Disney articles. You may know what I'm talking about. It was like may have something to do with being. Anyway. This website was saying that, there's so much Mandela effect during the Indiana Jones ride. Everybody thought that when the snake is there, Indiana Jones said, "Snakes, why did it have to be snakes?" And I don't know what's going on. It was one person said this once, and it makes a whole article where I don't know. I'm just complaining, I guess, is what's going on. I have such an affinity for this attraction. I guess I just know it backwards and forwards, but I don't know how many people are really like, I could have swore he said the line from the movie and not this line from the ride. I don't know.
Doesn't he say, like, snakes, you're on your own?
Exactly. That's exactly what he says. Yeah, snakes, you guys are on your own. And that's what happens. I don't know. Rant over.
Huh.
I'm just...
I totally missed that. I had no idea that was a thing.
You know, I followed this page when it was owned by the guy that made the podcast. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know it. And then he sold the website to these other people, and now it's a clickbaity article thing. And I'm still subscribed to the web, like on Facebook, like the notifications. And I do it, and it gets me mad. And I don't know why I don't unsubscribe, but I'm still there to see how ridiculous it is. This is the life that I've given myself, I guess. I don't know.
That's funny.
Rant over. Back to playing cards.
Nah, I'm done with playing cards.
Okay, yes.
I mean, I could see how something like that would or can pick up traction easily, given the fact that over the last 2 years, there's been a lot of talk about the Mandela effect and how people feel differently about certain things. And especially now that the Hadron Collider at CERN got reignited and it's at like full power over the summer, they're all talking about, okay, well, are we going to get shifted back into the reality we were in before and all that stuff?
That would be cool.
They were making news because I think one of the scientists was all like, and with all of these realities, when we tried to merge them together, or all these alternate realities, and everybody latched onto that.
He was trying to make a joke.
I don't know if he was trying to make a joke. I think he was just talking about like a theoretical something about how it would function, and everybody just latched onto that. I don't know the full story, but I want to say that that's probably why something like that could have picked up traction the way that it did.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've never remembered it as the line in the film. Like I'm pretty positive that they didn't use the line in the film because they didn't want to have to pay royalties for it.
Well, also, like, yeah, and they couldn't get Harrison Ford to do it because all kinds of stuff. And yeah, that's a fun tidbit. I don't know if I told it on Quizneyland or not. Harrison Ford. We're just gonna do this right now. Did you know that that Harrison Ford didn't voice the Indiana Jones ride because they gave him the script for the Super Bowl? That's right. Indiana. That's what happened. Basically, they were building an attraction and planning the Super Bowl halftime show at the same time. And Harrison Ford said, "Yeah, I'll voice the attraction, but I don't want anything to do with the Super Bowl halftime show." And they said, "Okay." And somebody mistakenly sent him the Super Bowl halftime show script, and he said, "I said I'm not doing this. Now I'm not doing any of it." And then he went, "Peace and smell you later." And that's what happened.
This has been brought to you by
Quizneyland.
Speaking of, I think I need to get some of that Gracie family extermination in my house.
I don't know why he was complaining. If you watch that halftime show, it's a gem. It's a gem of a show.
It's that's one way to put it.
To the eye of the beholder. That's all I'm going to say.
I think we talked about this.
Why is there so many bee holders all over the place? The bees are going extinct, and these bee holders aren't going to have a job to do anymore.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
I don't know, but now we're moving on to, we're talking about drinks, I think is where we start. No, cards.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I think we're on cards. How did we end up on cards? Oh, because we're going to talk about Obi-Wan later. Why are we backtracking? Yeah. Let's just move forward.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Go.
So, guess what?
Chicken butt.
The day we are recording this episode is 1 day removed from the 8-year anniversary since we started the podcast. So the 28th of June, 8 years old. Are we singing Happy Birthday?
No, I was gonna sing the version that I heard at a restaurant one time because it's the anniversary. So
good, because the other one's copywritten, and I don't want.
Well, not anymore. It's a public name. But anyway, so yes. I will tell this story as well because this is one of my favorite stories. I was at the old spaghetti factory. I don't know if they have those down there or not, but the old spaghetti factory, and we were just there. I was with a couple friends. We're sitting there eating, lunch or dinner, whatever it was, and there was so many birthdays. So like 6 birthdays come around every 5 minutes. Happy birthday! It's like okay. And then we're there, and I think we're eating ice cream, and then we hear, okay, happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you guys. Happy anniversary to you. So I don't know who decided to come up with that, but I think about that probably once a month.
Nice.
Because who doesn't love the anniversary song? So happy anniversary to Podketeers. Anyway, I'm not going to sing the whole thing again. I'm not warmed up. I don't have my vocals cords warmed up to sing.
Well, we'll get that sultry voice going by the end of the podcast.
Anyway.
I so thought you were pulling a Tim the Toolman Taylor off with that one. I love it.
Hey, did you see that? Bringing that up, did you see the first image from the Santa Clauses?
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah. What info did we get on that?
There's
Aside
a
from the
picture.
Image?
Is
that it?
I
it's
think
really
so.
just
Let's
the
see.
picture.
The Santa Clauses. Thanks, Google.
So does that mean that we're gonna have like 5 Santas now?
Maybe Mrs. Claus will be Santa, and maybe I don't know. The first look at Disney Plus's The Santa Clauses. Why is it on the Disney Parks blog? We know that Cal Penn is joining the cast. And
As one of the Santas?
a single father, ambitious game inventor, and product developer who visits the North Pole makes a big impact on the direction of his life. He's joining blah 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 blah. I don't know. So it looks like let's see, the Santa Claus is set sometime after the events of Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause, and picks up with Scott Calvin on the brink of his 65th birthday, realizing he can't be Santa forever. As he suddenly starts to lose his Santa magic, he sets out to find a suitable replacement Santa while preparing his family for a new adventure life in south of the North Pole. That's a weird sentence. Anyway, so it sounds like Tim Allen's not going to be Santa anymore, and everybody's going to be sad. I don't know.
Wait a second. I thought we already had a new Santa. What happened to Noel?
That's a different multiverse universe.
Nice segue.
What?
Well, is Tim Allen
cannot
in
accept
Noel
this.
as like Santa who died or something?
I don't know.
I don't know. I
Maybe.
never watched Noel.
It was good. You should watch it.
I heard.
Was he in
Very
Prep
good.
and Landing? Then yes. Yes, he
No.
was.
That was not the voice. I'm just a little thrown off because I'm thinking about the Santa Claus in Santa 1, and I mean, he fell off the roof.
Yeah, but it's like,
so I hope Tim Allen's
but it's
up
whoever
on
like,
the roof.
yeah, we have to. I don't know. They're gonna have to. Maybe there's more
interesting-
clauses that we don't know about.
Yeah.
If the Santa decides that he doesn't want to be Santa anymore, he can go find another guy, and then the other guy signs a contract. Then he can be Santa, but he has to
Gotta
do
be in
this
there.
thing and then go through a test and take a driving sleigh test, and I don't know, and then has to
driving a reindeer.
outrun a reindeer,
One of the new
and
ones.
eat
Outrunner reindeer?
500 pounds of cookies, and then maybe
Thumb
you
down.
could go
The hot chocolate,
before
too.
the board of magical creatures, and they
do
vote
have
and they put it in
That's
the
a
votes
3.
in the fire, and if the smoke is white, then he's not Santa, but if the smoke is candy cane, then he's Santa. I don't know.
Halfway to Christmas talk.
Does Dumbledore ever make an appearance?
You shall not pass. That's not Dumbledore.
No, that's
Fly, you fools!
other white beard guy.
I don't know. I'm Magneto.
Wizard.
Gandalf.
There you go.
Is that what you're trying to
Gandalf.
say? I know. I'm just trying to make people mad.
Oh, my brother would kill me if he knew I forgot.
Oh, that's the Dumbledore line I know. Did you put your name in the goblet of fire? That's what Dumbledore says, I'm pretty sure. That's the only Dumbledore thing I know. He gets really mad. Tina pointed that out to me one time, and I thought it was
all
very
the
funny.
time. He's a grump.
Did you put your name in the
Grumpy
goblet
Old
of fire?
Wizards is the new movie on Disney Plus.
Huh?
I'm kidding.
Oh.
Yeah, so the Santa Clauses. I'm curious about how this is going to go. I feel like this is a trilogy that didn't need any additional films added to it.
But Disney Plus.
Yeah, I know. I get that. And like I said, I feel like this is a trilogy that didn't need any additional films to it.
Yeah, but look, they said that about Toy Story, and you got Toy Story 4 and Forky and all that kind of stuff.
And Toy Story was one of those trilogies that didn't need another part to it.
You know what these all have in common?
That they didn't need a fourth part to it?
And Tim Allen is in both of them.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Toy Story.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know. Christmas movies they kind of break the rule of movies. You guys bring this up because you guys love Christmas so much, both of you. And I'm always like, the movies got to be, pretty good. And there's I'm pretty picky on the ones we've talked about, like their top 4. So it's like, when these sequels come for Christmas movies, I kind of throw out the sequel rule. Because you just think about Home Alone, like we always talk about, the second one was better than the first, we would say. So I feel like that happens a bit with the Christmas movies sometimes. Like the second's better.
Yeah, but then there's Home Alone 3.
Apply.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, there you go. That's the Christmas rule. It's just it almost gets away with it because it's a Christmas movie. So it's like you might just like it because it has Christmas theme.
Hey, yeah, but then you have Home Sweet Home Alone.
Because don't start.
We're
gonna get into this whole
Die
thing about Die
Hard.
Hard.
And then Die Hard 2.
I knew it. This is where I put the line.
Die Hard 3, 4, 5, and 6.
And Batman Forever. Or Batman, yeah.
So don't call out Santa Claus if you're not going to call out Die Hard. I'm just putting it out there.
Now, I mean, look, I like the 3 Santa Claus movies. They are definitely in my Christmas rotation. I know that the closer we get to Christmas, we're going to talk about favorite movies again. You know, we try to get our favorite ones every year, and we talk about them. You know, it's going to be in there because those are classics. They've become some of our favorites, so I get it. The thing about these films is that I think the thing that bothers me, and look, when I'm watching them, I feel like I forget all this, right? Like I just kind of get engulfed in the story, and then all of a sudden at the end, I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. I get it. They did it. They saved Christmas. Like in every film, right? Like the magic of Christmas just kicks you in the feels. But when you start to analyze the film, they always break something that's canon. And like you mentioned it, Larry, what's going to happen with this one? If in the first one he fell off the roof, Scott Calvin got the suit, and then he became Santa, then what's the clause now for the multiple? Are we going to have multiple Santas?
I just explained this. He has to fill a form out and then...
As long as it's not... I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna reserve everything that I'm going to say until we've seen it or we have more information. Because I know you read that.
Because in the Santa Claus 2, she's like, "Oh, there's the fine print," and then puts the the magnifying glass. Well, what about the fine print? And then there's another.
I bet you there's a fine.
Puts it under a microscope.
Yep.
Or they're going to be like, oh, well, in case you didn't realize, Santa, there's a piece that was torn off, and we just found it. And
this is the other page.
In the mountain of the North Pole that only
so
Gandalf has ever. It was in Superman's Fortress of Solitude or something. I don't know. They'll figure out some way.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Bringing DC in.
Well, we got to do it somewhere, I guess.
That's the crossover we're all looking for. Santa and Superman.
Superman.
The DC's universe. Here we go.
It's funny. Oh, man. All right. So anyway, Santa Claus is coming. We'll talk about it more as we get more information about that. Yes, the anniversary of the podcast is happening.
Oh, yeah, that's
Happy
what we were
8th
talking
anniversary
about.
to the podcast. Do I have anything special planned? Nah, we'll probably do something special for the 10th anniversary.
We sang a song. We did it.
Yeah, we sang a song. We got the Spaghetti Factory special.
Spaghetti Factory Happy Anniversary song.
So yeah, there you go. We got that. Let's see. Let's take it to the parks a little bit because it looks like we got our first glimpse at Nemo reopening. What's the official name of the attraction? Submarine Voyage.
Submarine
Voyage.
Nemo's Submarine and the Curse of the Black Pearl.
Finding Nemo's Submarine Voyage.
Finding Nemo's
Submarine Voyage.
That's what I thought.
That's what it is.
Finding Nemo's Fantastic
Black
Voyage.
Pearl. I'm in.
Ooh, Fantastic Voyage. Hello. We had a couple different ones there.
No, I was just thinking of it wrong. I think it was the same song.
Let's see. So we got our first look at the lagoon and all of the changes. It looks like they installed a lot of really bright, beautiful coral. There's a big Hank in the middle. No longer are the days of mermaids in the middle of the blazing hot sun in the middle of summer. Now we have Hank, which is kind of cool. Hank has been one of the coolest characters in Finding Dory.
It was so cool that, they got him to dress up in the Ant-Man costume after he had been, he was just a, old scientist, and then they got him in the Ant-Man costume, and then they stuck him in the lagoon. That's what we're talking about, right?
Wrong Hank. That's Hank Pym. This is Hank the Octopus.
Hank, the country singer with the big cowboy hat?
No, that's
no.
Hank Williams, I believe.
The propane salesman?
That's Hank Hill.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I can't think of any more Hanks.
Good job.
I looked up Hank,
good.
and they just keep showing this guy, but I don't know what he's from, so that doesn't help me. Nope, I don't know who he is. Hank Schrader. If anybody knows who Hank Schrader is, I don't know.
No idea.
Let's see. We're gonna visit Wikipedia. I'm in this thing. Better Call Saul is a guy named Hank. Apparently,
a lot of fans are gonna be mad. I have never
I didn't watch
watched
Breaking Bad.
Never watched Breaking Bad.
How about the
saw
guy?
some of the first season.
How about the guy that voices stuff on The Simpsons?
Hank Azaria?
Yeah, like Mo.
Yeah.
Can you name that
Can
Hank?
you name- that's the new game.
We'll get some game show music for it.
How about old timey baseball player?
Hank Aaron?
There we go. No, that's a picture of a pizza. I don't. Anyway, I'm dragging this out way too long. Yes, Hank the Octopus, voiced by beloved actor guy from Modern Family that I can't think of his name, Ed Harris. That's who we're talking about, right?
Yep.
Sure.
Ted.
Right, Ed.
Honestly, I don't even know where we started anymore.
Finding Nemo submarines. I got us way
yeah.
off a track. Hank is
Yes.
there. Not Ed Harris. Ed O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill, who
Ed O'Neill.
voices Al Bundy.
Yeah.
He voices Al Bundy.
Yes, he voices Al
I almost
Bundy
said
on the
Ted Bundy.
famous cartoon Married with Children.
What a day. I tell you what,
Right?
I don't know
I
what's
know.
going on.
This is what 108 heat does to us.
Yeah, that's right. Fries you
We're
out.
delirious now.
This is what we get when Melissa's not here.
Right? When she's not here to wrangle anybody. All right, so Coral was added, Hank was added, and I remember looking at this. They put up a video. I thought about it, and I was like, wow, that looks super beautiful. I'm glad that they did this. They refurbed that ride for a good 8 months out of the year, and then it's open for 3 weeks, and then it's closed for 3 years again for refurb, and then it's open for 3 weeks again. It's a cycle, right? But all I remember thinking was, but the subs are still small, and they feel like they hurt, and I never write it because it's so tiny.
And what happens
How
if
am I
somebody
supposed
farts
to?
in there?
Dude, don't even, because
That's for the
Let's
kids in the
not.
car. We've talked about
the
that
kids
before.
know what's up.
The kids know what's up.
The kids know what's up. Anyway, it's super tight in there. It's not fluffy friendly
Yes.
at all.
True.
How come they don't work on that? I
Just
mean, if
put
they're
some,
spending all
like-
this money,
Like
I don't know.
tape some beach chairs to the top or something.
Or just give me like a snorkel and let me just hang on to the back of it so I
Yeah,
can just
like a
enjoy
tow
it from
rope,
the
but we
back. Like
can-
a tow rope, yeah. Something.
Oh, fiberglass all over your body. That's gonna feel good.
So I have an opinion on this. Why couldn't they have made this Hank statue a Hank robot? I want a robot. Like they spent all this money and they had the
You mean animatronic?
robot. Let's not get too fancy. Like
Look, it's pronounced
Okay.
robot.
robot. Sorry, yes,
Thank you.
robot. Because they had the seagulls there. Those are kind of like robots.
What?
Yeah, those guys. I wouldn't call them.
Those better come
I wouldn't
back.
call them an audio animatronic. I'm sure they got like two things.
Wait a second. Do they move?
Yes.
Then they are
Yeah,
matronic.
they move their
Do they
head.
make noise?
No.
Then they are audio.
Audio. That's an audio matronic.
They are audio and they are matronic.
So okay. So
yes.
So we just need audio matronics then. I mean, make the tentacles move or the eyes look around or something. I don't know. Like it feels like yes. I don't know. I don't have room to complain, I guess. But if you're gonna put all this money into there, why not like give us a little something. I don't know what they did to the inside, but if they want to add Hank, like, make it a little fun, and maybe Hank can wave and be like Mr. Potato Head and talk to the people that are watching from the shore or whatever. I don't know, but it seems like they weren't given a proper budget to add something, so they're like, well, they told us we have to add something, so here's a statue.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if it was moving around, I think it would have been nice. I mean,
It looks
like I said,
good. Like, it looks
Yeah.
good. It's fine. But I'm here.
I just want the seagulls back. Like, I get so sad walking by that area and not hearing mine.
What if they
Well,
moved
I'm
them,
so
though?
used
Larry,
to
I
it.
could just walk behind you and do that. It would be fine. I could make you happy just a couple feet behind.
Okay, that works.
Okay.
That'll bring back the nostalgia.
What if they moved him, Heyzen? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what if they just moved them? What if they're
On Space
closer
Mountain?
to the railing now so that you can
Oh.
feed them peanuts? I mean, you never
Oh my
know.
gosh.
Like, they gotta
they
get
fight over
hungry
it?
out there all
What if
day.
they
a
just
real
put them
mind
all over
fight?
Tomorrowland? Like, there's like a bunch of seagulls, like some on Autopia, some in
Re
Buzz
theme
Lightyear.
we've been waiting for.
I'm for it, yes.
That's
But yeah,
cool.
this attraction, man. I mean, look, I hate to say it,
Knock it
but
to the ground.
it's time to go, man.
Aw.
This attraction
I
just
don't
has to
know.
go. They gotta just take that space back. I know it's a classic attraction, but they gotta take this down and put something else in its place. What? I don't know yet. But I mean, if you think about it, it really does go down a lot more than it's open. At least that's what it feels like. It's
Mhm.
always closed for some kind of refurb, and then it like opens for the summer, and then it's closed the rest of the year.
And also, we're in a drought, and that's 25 million gallons of water or something.
Yeah,
I'm sure they recycle, they have
I
like
was
the
about to say, it's
recycle tanks and all
recycled.
those things, but I don't know if they can
Yeah.
recycle 25 million. I don't know I think it's something like that. I'm just pulling that number
No.
out of the air, but I think it's close to that many gallons.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Knock it to the ground and put some cool, like, I don't know, Phantom Manor. I don't care. That doesn't fit
Ooh.
Tomorrowland, but put it there anyway.
Who cares? What else fits Tomorrowland? Just do it.
Yeah, just that'll be part of Fantasyland now. Your
I
Fantasyland
mean, it is
now.
fantasy.
Yes. Your
It is
Fantasyland now.
If you, well, I guess it depends on who you ask on TikTok, I guess, but
Well, I don't care what they say.
that's true. All right,
This
it's
is my
conversation for another day.
imagination.
Boom. This is my imagination.
Oh,
Some
God.
imagination, huh? It's a little screwy. Oh, my chair squeaked.
Is that what that was?
I think so.
Like
I don't know. I
cute on
didn't.
us. Yeah,
I
on
didn't
the
roll over a
squeak.
cat or anything.
It's a little screwy, right? It's like
I
you
was like,
timed it. You should've
man, like your
left it.
voice got super high, dude. I was like,
I don't know what this is. We're having a weird, silly goose time. I don't know.
I
what's
know,
going on.
I know.
I don't know
hey,
what's going on.
Hey, so there was, I don't remember who posted it on Discord. There was an article about Great America closing. I
Yeah,
want to say it was Agent Ocho
I was.
on Discord, right?
Yes, I was reading.
So shout out Agent Ocho, by the way.
Hey, buddy, thanks for posting that. I was reading that article and I saw a notification on Discord and I was like, what's this about? I was like, oh, I'm just reading the same thing too. And yeah, I don't know if you guys had a chance to read the article, but California's Great America, owned by Cedar Fair, is closing in 11 years.
Ooh.
So
Aw.
it's going to be a long, agonizing departure. I don't know, agonizing. It's a quite a ways away, so you have some time to say goodbye to California's Great America. So what it seems like is, well, no, it seems like this is what happened. They're in Santa Clara. I'm pretty sure Santa Clara. Is it Santa Clara, Larry? Is that where Santa Rosa?
Santa Rosa.
That's the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, all that kind of stuff. That land they're sitting on is worth a pretty penny. It's a huge plot of land with parking lot and all that stuff. And so they decided, hey, we could probably sell this and make a boatload of money. And that's what they did. So they sold it for bajillions of dollars. I don't know how many. It doesn't say in the article. Then they leased the land back for another 11 years until they're going to pull everything out. And then the developers will develop it into stuff. I don't know, probably a Target. High-rise condominiums. I have no idea what's going in. That's 11 years away. It's kind of a little far to think about, but you have some time to say goodbye to former Paramount's Great America, now California's Great America. Yeah, I'm sure it had plenty of other names before that too.
It is Santa
Is
Clara.
it Santa Clara?
My bad. Yeah, it's close to Santa Rosa, but Santa Clara. It's because the city of Santa Clara is who owned the property. Well, technically, I think before I had owned the property, they got it there. But anyway, yeah, you're right on the money. 10 years to say goodbye seems kind of weird. It's not a joke, because there's a lot of things like that once they shut down, it's kind of like there's a lot of theme park history in regards to like things that are, from what I understand, when I know like in the middle states, once they're shut down, like because they go off season a lot and they won't reopen. If I'm right, Great America kind of operated like that at some points.
Seasonally,
so
yeah.
they kind of shut down like they shut down on their off season, like, and then you just don't hear about it again. But to be like 10 years in the running and being like, okay, I mean, I have ties to it. When I lived in the Central Valley, the middle of California, that park was closer than going to Disneyland. So we went there a lot as I was a kid, and it is more of a ride theme. Like they got roller coasters and things like that. It was like the smaller version, but there was things there that were Paramount owned, which was cool. And if I remember, one of my favorite things to ride there was this like Days of Thunder ride a long time ago, where it was like a simulator of a race car ride. And it's probably one of my first like crazy memories before going really to Disneyland of being in a large like ride that kind of like shakes you around, but there's a big old screen in front of you. But they lost the properties to Paramount, so some things changed there. And then the other ride I liked there was the Ninja. That was another one they had there back in the day, I think, if I remember right. But it was a lot more better and was Paramount owned. And then it kind of, yeah, I would say last time I went was early 2000s.
Yeah, I think they had like a
early.
Top Gun ride, and they had like, and then
Yeah, that's what switched. That's what the original ride was, the race car ride, and it switched.
and then
to
I
Top
think they
Gun.
also had like a Johnny English or something. I remember listening to something about where Paramount had this, and then they had to change everything, and it just kind of made it all blah. They kept all the
Kinda
rides, but they
weird.
just like
It's wonky.
took the names, and kept them kind of similar, but not. So yeah, there was some interesting. I'm sure somebody out there has a more insight into this, because I've never been to Great America. Marriott's Great America was it what originally? I knew there was another name.
I think the big point that you mentioned to Andrew before when we were talking on the side chat here, I never knew the last owning company is the same company that belongs with Knott's.
Cedar Fair.
So when you compare those two, that's a fall off for sure, and I could see why it happened.
And so I found the numbers. $310 million is what they got for the land. And that's, for a small-ish company like that, they're for a theme park company, they're not huge. That's a lot of money that they can use to invest in other properties. And I'm sure they took the calculations and did, well, this makes this much money, da-da-da-da-da. And we can take these rides and move them over to Knott's Berry Farm or Kings Island or whatever else they have. And, then all those places get upgrades, so to speak. They get new attractions that weren't there before, because that happens with roller coasters a lot. This person doesn't want it, that person buys it, and they set it up, da-da-da-da-da. So maybe looking out in 10 years for some new attractions at Knott's. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like Knott's, in a way, has been really working towards becoming like a bigger competitor to Disneyland. Like, I think in the eyes of a lot of guests, people have always seen Knott's Berry Farm as like the little park that could, right? But there's a lot of great stuff at Knott's Berry Farm. Like, there's a lot of things I prefer at Knott's Berry Farm, as a matter of fact. But when they really started to invest, I think it was last year, around this time, like May, June, I think, they reopened Knott's Berry Tales, like Return to the Fair, like the dark ride. And this was an attraction that had a huge following, because Rolly Crump, when he went away from Disney, like, he was a big influence. Well, he designed the entire attraction. He was an influence. He designed the entire attraction for Knott's Berry Farm. And eventually it went away, and it had this like huge following. People lobbied, they asked for it, and Knott's Berry Farm finally said, all right, we're bringing it back. And they did. And so the fact that they're investing in these new attractions, that they're investing in making more things available in the park, is why you see more people attending Knott's than ever before. On top of the fact that the price compared to what Disneyland costs for a single day or the season pass, for them versus, a Magic Key or annual pass, whatever you want to call it, Disneyland, the difference in cost is huge. So crowd levels are definitely different. I think there's going to be, we've seen it, right? I think we've seen this slight exodus from Disneyland, and we've seen more people going to Universal. We've seen more people going to Knott's. We've seen people going to Legoland and stuff like that. So that's going to continue to happen. But it would be cool if we saw some of these attractions from this closing theme park make an appearance at Knott's Berry Farm. I don't know what the footprint is like. I'm not as versed on what it looks like for a Knott's Berry Farm map and how much land they have available to them and what they can scrap and what they can put up. I know that in the back area where Log Jammer, I think, or is that at Six Flags? I forgot.
It's the Timber Mountain log ride.
Yeah. So back in that area, they have a lot of carnival games and stuff like that. Maybe they can install more stuff back there because it seems like there's a lot of space available. But yeah, I would love to see them open more stuff and just make it a bigger park.
Yeah. I want to correct myself. I said there's a Johnny English ride, but I don't think that's a thing. I think I'm getting something conflated. I don't think they would make a Rowan Atkinson movie into it. I'm thinking of something else, but I don't think Johnny English was what I'm thinking of.
There was a failed thing they had to change at the ride. I just can't remember
I'm looking up the history of this park because I the Paramount movies I don't know very well. It looks like at one point they had a Survivor. It's called Survivor the Ride.
Oh man!
And it's just one of those ones where it just spins you around on the two big arms. It lifts up and spins and spins.
But was it themed to the show Survivor?
Yes, the show Survivor.
Oh, interesting.
They had a Crocodile Dundee water park. Nickelodeon stuff. It's some stuff. They had here's the thing. The Paramount Action FX Theater, which is the Days of Thunder thing you were talking about, Larry.
Yeah.
And then
And my ride was called Demon, not Ninja. Sorry, Ninja's at Six Flags. That's what I messed up. It was called Demon.
Well,
it was something like that.
I only apologize a little because I've never been here, so I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
I've been there, and you know what I was going to say, Heyzen, the one thing I would love, which is their centerpiece when you go to this park, it's Carousel Columbia. It's like a 2-tiered carousel.
Oh, wow.
Look it up, because it's really, really nice. I don't know what year it was built, but it's always been there since I was a kid, and it's their main, there's Main Street, right? But this is
it's their
main
logo,
attraction
when you first
there.
walk in. It's the weenie. It's the...
Nice.
It's the thing.
Yeah,
and
it's really pretty. It's when I've been on it, every time it did give me nostalgia of that ride. It was just a carousel, not to be mean, but it is like a 2-tier type situation, which is really cool. But I think if that could get relocated somewhere, I think that'd be cool because it's a really nice. It's 10 years from now, but it's really cool. It just has this grand juncture, like you said.
Doesn't Knott's have a 2-floor or a 2-tier carousel though?
Well, they could stack them on
seen
top
it,
of
but
each other
you're
and
wrong.
have a 4-tier
Double tip.
carousel.
The 4-tier.
If Paramount's Great America was still around, we could have, a Quiet Place ride and Gemini Man ride.
Paramount.
Come on, look at all these great rides.
Everything that people are asking for, right?
Megamind. Yeah, everybody wants a Daddy's Home attraction.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, monster
That's exactly
trucks
what people are itching for.
coming to America.
Oh, okay. I had to look it up. So Knott's Merry-Go-Round is not 2-story. I know why I thought it was 2-story though, because you have to enter what looks like a house, and the second floor or on the top of it, it looks like it's a second floor that's spinning. Yeah.
This is this episode.
Then
seems,
maybe you could
this
make a
is the
2-tier.
We don't know things episode, and then we look them up.
First,
and...
we went off the rails. Now we're correcting our rails.
That's every
Good.
episode.
Yeah, but pretty much. You think we prepare for this? You thought wrong.
Well, that's cool. I mean, it sucks that it's closing. As it stands right now, I mean, what's there? Okay, so my question is this. Do you think it's worth making a trip to this park to send it off? Or do you think it's just like, watch a couple YouTube videos, you'll feel like you were there?
I don't think it's worth making a trip. I think if you're in near the Bay Area within a driving distance and you have an extra day like built into your travel out to the Bay Area, because I mean, you can only go to Alcatraz so much. That's some guy has been to Alcatraz ever, but there's so many things you could do out there. But if you're near it, it's worth a try because, like you talked about, affordability. I think that's why we went a lot. I mean, times have changed. Obviously, we're here now, but it is quite affordable compared to other parks. I believe it is more kid driven. So there's not as many like thrill rides, I would say. So there's like a lot more of the kid stuff going on. But if you're in the area, might as well give it a try.
You can get a platinum annual pass for a grand total of $240.
Wow.
So that still sounds affordable. Yeah.
Wow.
Or $46
it's just like one of those stops on the road.
Wow.
Or if you're in pre-K, if you're younger than kindergarten age, you can get in for free.
Well, just get on your knees and, just pretend.
Just try to walk through, yeah.
Wow.
Let's see
what
comes with this pass.
I'm going to have to look it up. I'm going to find some videos on YouTube and at least try to see what it was like. I've never been there. I feel like I've seen it. When we were going up north, I don't remember if we were going to Santa Cruz or San Francisco, but I feel like we saw it off in the distance. And I just remember thinking, or was that Six Flags?
Oh, Marine
yeah.
World. Could have been.
I don't know. Maybe it was the Six Flags park. I don't know.
Yeah, this one's a little bit off the distance path, but it's worth it. It's still a theme park.
And it's like, if you're really into roller coasters, maybe that's something that maybe these roller coasters won't exist anymore. And if you're the kind of person that really wants to, do roller coasters and da-di-da-di-da-di-da, then maybe that would be something for you to check out these roller coasters if they are going away forever kind of thing. I don't know if they're duplicates other places that are, similar rides, but maybe that is a good reason to go. I mean, I don't know if that's Heyzen's reason to go, but somebody out there might want to go because these roller coasters could be going away forever in 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, I would be up for that. I mean, it's been a while since I've had the opportunity to go on roller coasters. I love them. I loved them growing up. For a long time, we had Six Flags annual passes, and our group of friends actually went frequently. It was the park that we went to just because it was more accessible than like Disneyland was at the time. Plus, if you took like a Coke can and you went inside, like you paid like $8 for an annual pass or something like that. It was like something insane.
They paid you 35 cents.
Yeah, exactly. And parking, so it always worked out. But, I think for me, I think there was several years where they overlapped, and we had both. Like, we had the Six Flags and the Disneyland annual pass when we first started, like, going. But, like, as my love for Disneyland grew, we stopped going as much to Six Flags. And then it got to the point where we went, like, once a year and thought, that's not worth an annual pass. Like, we'll just pay for a ticket at that point, and then let's just continue getting our annual pass for Disneyland. And that's just kind of how it went from there on out. Those days, the annual pass was nothing like what we're paying for right now.
I would love to be paying what I paid when I first got my annual pass.
A lot of us
$400.
Yeah.
And
I miss those days.
Man, I thought that was so much money. I mean, granted, I was just out of high school, but still, if I could say to myself back then, what I know now, I'd say,
buy a whole bunch of them so you could just redeem them for the next 20 years.
Exactly. That's how it works, right? I didn't use these yet. You can do it with tickets, I guess. We'll go back in time to 1988 and buy a bunch of like 5,000 day passes.
Dude, we should do it.
Yeah, let's get that time machine out.
Let's do it. If anybody heard that idea, don't worry about it. We'll get you in on it.
Yeah, we'll get 8,000
podcast giveaway.
We'll get 8,000 day tickets from 1988 or whatever. I don't know.
All right. Well, it's sad to hear. I never left to hear whenever a theme park is closing, especially one that has this type of history. But, you got 11 years if you want to go check it out.
That's what Larry was saying. Like, a lot of these places, it's like, oh, yeah, sorry, we couldn't open up and we're closed forever now. You got some time, so say goodbye while you can.
Exactly.
Go eat a Twinkie Wiener sandwich there or something, whatever they have. I don't know.
Funnel cake.
Oh, not Twinkie Wiener sandwiches. That's only in that Weird Al movie.
I mean, I'm curious now.
A Twinkie Wiener sandwich, Bobo.
That's funny.
That's UHF. That's Weird Al's movie.
UHF. Doesn't Weird Al have like another movie coming out on Disney Plus?
Yeah, he does. I mean, I don't think it's Weird Al's movie, but Weird Al's in a movie.
Oh no, he does a theme song for it, right?
I think he does the theme. And I think he's it's a Lego Star Wars movie, and he's a Lego Star Wars character. He plays Vic Vanko in this Star Wars Lego movie thing. I don't know. There's a catchy song.
Like Everything is Awesome?
Yeah, but a Weird Al version.
Everything is weird?
Everything is weird and a Twinkie Wiener sandwich.
Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation. Looking for a much-needed break from stormtroopers and TIE fighters? Finn arranges a surprise vacation for his friends Rey, Poe, Rosie, Chewie, BB-8, R2-D2, and C-3PO aboard the ultra-luxurious Galactic Star Cruiser.
Yeah, so
Wait a second.
Yes.
Is this a commercial?
I was waiting to bring that up because I read that whole thing and it's like, okay, so this is a commercial for Galactic Star Cruiser in a Lego movie, and they got Weird Al to do the commercial.
In a Lego movie. Yeah.
What? I mean, look, it's kind of genius, right? Like, I get it. You're bringing synergy to everything, and if you really want to make the story of the Galactic Star Cruiser canon for the worlds that you're creating, especially connecting it to Batuu and everything, I get it.
So obviously you do it with Lego.
Yeah, I guess that's...
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Open field.
But
Bravo.
This is... So what's interesting about this is supposedly... it's Lego. It's a Lego movie, so they don't care. They can have whoever meet. So it has like Rey and Finn and whatever, but then it has like Darth Vader and like Obi-Wan Kenobi and
Obi-Wan? Yeah.
there's
Anakin
well,
Skywalker.
and there's oh, come on, brain work. The Emperor, thank you very much,
Palpatine.
Brain Emperor Palpatine in a bathing suit on the beach. And I think
that's what he does on his
funny.
spare time.
Yeah, he goes like, no. And Jabba the Hutt is like dancing in a little party hat. Like, it's all kind of, it looks kind of fun. Darth Vader has a big fruit hat on.
Nice.
Like, I don't know.
I love it.
I have to say, I do appreciate that they're trying to do some stuff with Star Wars that's a little silly. Like, Star Wars is inherently a little silly, I think. And these characters are so, like, just so well known that it's funny to be able to do something a little different with them, even if it's in a Lego form. But Darth Vader in a fruit hat and whatever on the beach, that's funny, and they should do that more often.
I mean, that's what Lego's known for. Lego pushes the boundaries of every property that they touch. No matter what, whether it's Avengers, whether it's DC characters, like, they're just, like, everything just gets snarkier and kind of funnier in many ways when it's in Lego format. Like, I don't think I've seen any Lego films that I've considered, like, a flop. Even, like, the standard stuff, like the Ninjago stuff and everything, those are all pretty entertaining, too. So, I dig this. I'm waiting for it. I'm for it.
And Weird Al's part of it, so it can't be bad.
Plus, the song is a bop, you say?
Yes. Well, I didn't say that, but some people might say that.
I mean, is it boppy?
I don't know. I just turned it up really loud in my headphones for a second. I hurt my ears.
That sounds like a bop.
If that qualifies as a bop, then yes, I guess it is.
It bopped your ears.
It bopped my ears, and now they're ringing.
Nice.
August 5th. That's the date it's supposed to premiere.
There you go. Set your times and calendars on your phones for an alert for when Disney Plus releases. What is it called again? Weird Al Presents Star Wars Summer Vacation.
Yeah.
It's Star Wars Summer Vacation.
Presented
Lego.
by Weird Al.
Star Wars
Presented by Honda.
Nice. That's good.
No, I don't. Yeah, yes, I don't know. I was gonna make another joke, but I forgot what it was. So let's just not do that. And why don't we take this time, Heyzen, to thank those pretty cool cats and kittens that we always
Absolutely.
thank. I like those guys, so we should give them a big old thank you.
The cool cats and kittens. So we just want to take a moment to thank a very special group of listeners, or as Andrew says, those cool cats and kittens, known as the FGP Squad, our podcast, Fairy Godparents, because it is their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. If you want more info on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, you can head over to podketeers.com/FGP for more information. There you will find a list of some of our top contributors, a little info on what the FGP Squad is, and a link to our Patreon. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Being a part of the FGP Squad family does get you some additional perks, like a special section on our Discord that's specifically for FGP, access to the Podketeers after show, our happy hour calls, additional content on Patreon, random giveaways, just to name a few. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. But of course, to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support.
So before we go on to, I know I got Heyzen before I could say what he's gonna say. Ha ha. Have you guys? Is anybody caught up on Stranger Things, or at least like through the first couple episodes?
I'm done, dude. I'm rewatching it again because I want to be ready for next week. I think when they release part 2.
I'm on like 3 right now, but okay. Spoiler alert: if you're not on Stranger Things, that's not gonna spoil too much, but it's funny. So there's like that bad guy Jorm, or I don't know what his name is.
Vecna.
Yeah. Vecna, Jorm. That's close enough, right? I don't know.
Wait, did we get a spoiler alert here?
I said it already. You were not paying
he said
attention.
it. He
I'm
dropped
sorry.
it.
I went away to grab some water, and I totally didn't hear it. Thank you for that. I'm sorry.
This Clear American has alcohol in it or something. This is a weird. I'm like more than halfway done with this, so it must be decent. But anyway, so what did you say his name was? Vengeance?
No, we'll stick to your name. We'll stick to
Go with
name.
Jorm.
Jorm. So Jorm is there. He's the bad guy, and he's like got all these like weird cable tentacle things coming out of him. And the only thing I can think of is the now I forgot her name, from Captain EO. If you remember Captain EO, what is her name? The Grand. I sent it to you guys earlier, I think. The Supreme Leader. How could I not forget that? But so this guy reminds me of the Supreme Leader from Captain EO. I don't know if you remember that, but it's Angelica Houston comes down and she's got like those pointing fingers.
Oh, she looks like Doc Ock, right?
Yeah, and she goes, "You think me beautiful?" And every time I see that guy with his little tentacle things, I say that to myself, and sometimes I say it aloud, and my wife gets mad at me. I don't know. I just want to bring that up before we talk about what we were actually going to talk about, because I thought that was funny.
That is funny.
Anybody else in the Discord
Yeah,
feeling
you
that
think
way?
me beautiful? I think we need a Supreme Leader emoji on the Discord.
Hey, if we can find a good image of it or a good animated GIF, we'll add it.
Okay, because, or maybe we could get like Hooter or Major Domo or something. I don't know. Captain Neo's silly.
We'll figure it out.
Speaking of space.
Yeah, speaking of space stuff.
Yeah. So let's recap and let's give some thoughts here on Obi-Wan. That 6-part series, it's officially over. Coming into this, I was pretty excited because I felt like there was a lot of story that was going to be told that I was just not familiar with. And, as a non-hardcore Star Wars fan, I really enjoyed this entire series. I know that there's been some mixed feelings about it, and I was hoping to get some comments from, especially you, Larry. I don't know if you've seen like how people are feeling about it, what they're saying about it, but I want to know how you felt about it, how you felt the ending was, and would you have wanted to see something different or change something to kind of go into the other films and stories we're already used to? So let's start off with your thoughts.
Okay. Now, do we want to go spoilerific?
Oh, no, let's go spoilerific.
bland?
So if you haven't seen it, you may want to pause the episode, watch it, and then come back to this, because we're going into spoiler territory here.
Alrighty. So after all 6 now watching them, for me, I think it was well done for Obi-Wan's story. I know we're going to get into probably some questions about how they wrote it out and how the people and the characters had their final scenes, but for me, here's why. As I mentioned before when we were talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi, the real story is the Padawan and the Master that it starts with, and they keep that overlying theme in Obi-Wan Kenobi, but with that, there's that hope that they bring in Obi-Wan, that when you have Anakin and Padme's kids, Luke and Leia, now in the story into the fold, to close that gap, to understand why, where the story is going and how to fill some of those gaps. Now, for me, overall speaking, the payoff really was seeing Obi-Wan come back to the Force, because where he started in the beginning of the show, he's this broken. He's done with being a Jedi, and the Jedis are pretty much at their lowest point and about to be broken. You got the Inquisitors really taking over. And I'll revisit the Inquisitor part because that does play a part in this whole thing too, because obviously the fifth sister. Third. My bad. Third sister. So
Sisterhood of Travis.
I think
Sorry.
The Sisterhood of Travis Bats. I think for me, it was awesome. I being a Star Wars fan, I've talked about this before. I was in once I heard the music back, and then you had the lightsaber fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan at the end. I had to rewatch that scene 3 times. And why? First, I had to rewatch it because I wanted to see it. The second time, I had to rewatch it in the dark because I wanted all my lights to have the effects on my TV of the white and the blue and red lightsabers. And then last time, I really focused on the dialogue. And for me, it really feels like in this sequence of seeing this, I just really felt some part of resolution in regards to Obi-Wan. Now, I know it's not a resolution for Darth Vader, and there's probably a lot of people out there going to be like, he could have ended it. But for me, I feel more better about it because Obi-Wan was really the character I was battling with his knowing of the Force, really coming to the end of going back to his full strength of being a Jedi with the Force. And I had just the chills at the end with that fight when he's fighting technically Darth Vader, but he still sees him as Anakin. And the scenes at his lowest point, pretty much losing to Anakin / Darth Vader at that point, being buried literally in the ground. And then what gives him hope is seeing images of Leia and Luke, which means like that whole hope. There's a hope in the Force, which gave him the power to fight back because he's kind of breaking away from how the bonds he had with Anakin. And I got chills. I know it's been done on the Clone Wars, but like I told you before, I don't think I've watched a lot of the animated Star Wars things like you did, Heyzen, that reinvigorated your Star Wars like because of how well they did. I've heard they've done this before when you had the lightsaber battle. Spoiler alert, come big time. Obi-Wan does this awesome move and just like uses the Force to slice right through Darth Vader's half of his mask. And there's this dialogue they have with each other. And this was where I got the feels and the emotions of like Obi-Wan, and just I think when I say I think this is why the only reason you had to have them back, because the voice kind of crackled and you had Darth Vader, then you had his voice, and you talked about the identity, and even the lightsaber colors were like blue to red. You saw these like reflections, which couldn't have been done in the 70s. Like that just they didn't have that good of a camera to do that kind of thing, and great CGI. To create this like ultimate lightsaber battle, and then this ultimate face off of like Obi-Wan really dealing with losing his Padawan, more than that, losing his friend. And for anyone that's gonna be like, I know that might be out there, why didn't you just kill him? Why didn't you just kill him? First, back up. Jedi's technically, it's one of the very few people that don't kill a lot, and they always survive stabbings. Like, I don't know how they get stabbed by a lightsaber and survive. But they all have this way of the Force letting things play out. And you have to think about go forward and how Obi-Wan dies. He really kind of sacrifices himself when you watch the first Star Wars movie, which would be technically the fourth. So that's what I know a lot of people are upset at. And it's more of him coming to the resolution of to come one with the Force again, which he gets full power at the end, you see by that scene. And then, like I said, if you're really going to criticize The story with the third sister, yes. And what I mean by that is she goes after Luke and has his own identity battle because you find out that she herself was a young Padawan, and she sees it in Luke that she found out through this, communication that he was there. She's putting the pieces together, and she's there to pretty much take him out because I believe she sees a part of Anakin in Luke, and that's where she wants to like ruin it, like a payback, revenge, because of what he did to her. But the only thing is, though, like, you continue the cycle in there, and she had a moment of choice, and technically she chose the good side at that point, or the side of the way of the Jedi, because she still had it in her, but technically not like 100%. So there's just like internal battles for the characters that they came through, and finally bring some light back into their lives of being resolution. And I think that I know a lot of people are going to be a little upset because it doesn't build well for future stories, maybe, or it didn't like close books. But for me, it's just what I would wanted, because I'm just a huge Obi-Wan fan. So there's my bias on it, though.
So I have a couple of questions that I'm hoping that you can answer, because you touched on it a little bit right now, and it was the relationship. Well, not the relationship. When the third sister goes after Luke, is she going after Luke because she knows that that's Anakin's son, or because Obi-Wan was protecting him because he knew that he was going to be like a Jedi in the future? Like, what was her reasoning for even going after Luke? Like, wasn't the whole point to go after Leia? Like, how did Luke even get in the picture for her?
Well, she has that battle, and then she sees the receiver. That would be like in episode 5, where she's like been stabbed by Darth Vader, which is a great Star Wars battle scene too. And she sees that this like broken transmission. I fear for you haven't communicated with me. This comes from technically Leia's dad, right?
Okay.
But I think I know there's a lot of open things here where maybe there was editing. Maybe I'm giving a benefit of doubt, putting this together, like how, because she showed up there real fast too. If you think about it, I was like, boom, she's already there. That was kind of weird.
I thought she got stabbed. Like,
you have to go backwards. Star Wars has so many people that got stabbed, and it's just irony that Qui-Gon's the one that like died so fast from being stabbed. But that's a whole nother thing. I think her anger. I think there's this thing about like anger and revenge inside of you keeps you alive, and not like having peace of the Force kind of thing. Like you're fighting death. That's why I feel like kind of played there, and she pushed her way through it. But who knows? Maybe there's no internal organs. Maybe that thing singed the right spot. It's really light. It's hot.
yeah, cauterizes
it, yeah.
Cauterize the room. But I think she has a little bit of Jedi in her. And if you're going to ask me, she knew to get to him at least would create pain, not only in, I think your story is right. Like in going after for Obi-Wan, because she knows that's where he's going to show up and who he's trying to protect. But I think she really sees Anakin in that scene. Does that bring that to like, she may have had some kind of background to it.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Just being like, at that point, knowing like, this is an important kid. This is like something in this kid is like Jedi. Like they feel that Force.
Because I mean,
Not explained.
I don't think, maybe I wasn't paying attention, because a lot of the times that I've had an opportunity to watch them, maybe I should watch it again, but the times that I was watching it pretty late. So maybe there were points that I didn't pick up on specifically, and especially the last few episodes that I saw. But if she knew that Luke was Anakin's son and Leia was Anakin's daughter, then I get it, right? It's an instant, like, okay, well, that makes sense. You're just trying to kill the lineage at that point. But
right.
If she knows, like, for me, the only other thing that made sense was the fact that she knew that Obi-Wan was supposed to train Luke and that he was overseeing Luke. And she saw Obi-Wan as a failure because Anakin turned out to be Darth Vader at the, at the fact that Obi-Wan couldn't do his job. Like, he lost his Padawan, right? And considering that Darth Vader, as Anakin, before he was even Darth Vader, was responsible for killing those children during Order 66. Like, you see the scene, like she's having the flashbacks, right? Like, she knows what can come. So like you said, she knows that there's some Darth Vader in Luke, but I'm wondering if that was the original connection, or if it was just the fact that in her heart she's like, well, you failed with Anakin, you're going to fail with Luke. I'm just going to get rid of him now.
It could be. I think this is why people are not liking it. Which, Andrew, this is a time for you to, as just a general fan, to just say what was wrong with the story points or just the overall show. This is
so,
it.
do you know who's cool? Darth Vader's cool. I don't care if you say it, but Darth Vader's cool. So anytime you get to see Darth Vader like throwing rocks around and doing stuff, that's pretty cool. Rock and roll, baby. Like that's pretty cool. What was wrong? When he threw Obi-Wan in the ground, like in a big hole, there was the best opportunity to say, and now I have the high ground, and that never happened. And I said it out loud, and he didn't say it. And I was very mad. And a lot of people were wanting more Hayden Christensen, and I think it was because in like the IMDb and everything, he's billed in every episode. And in every episode, it's like flashback and reused clips and things like that. There's one that I don't know. I haven't seen the prequels in a long time, so I don't know if it's reused or if it was new and they did some de-aging stuff. But it's the two of them, Obi-Wan and Anakin, doing the lightsaber stuff in like the...
That's
so that was new film stuff. Okay, so you got a little... a little bit of stuff, but it was... You know, the last episode we get like a minute and a half, 2 minutes of him as Darth Vader speaking, and they did it really good job, really cool with both Hayden Christensen and James Earl Jones doing the lines that they would, morph between them and because the voice box was, sliced up and stuff like that. So that was really cool. And lightsabers are cool. I don't know, like it was fun. I know a lot of people are speculating about like, okay, season 1 of Obi-Wan is wrapped up, and I'm like, no, this is, as far as we know, this is it for Obi-Wan. I don't know. That should have been my last thing I said, but I thought of more things. We also get to see Emperor Palpatine a little bit right there.
Yeah, good call out.
Ian McDermott, and we get to see Qui-Gon Jinn right there at the end too. So, bringing back a lot of these people for this project, I think kind of shows the even just how much the actors care about these roles, because they could have just said no. Like, do you want to be, say 4 lines and get into this? Like Ian McDermott, do you want to get all up in this makeup and say 2 sentences for an afternoon? Like, does he need to? No, but maybe he likes Star Wars a lot. I don't know. Did they film this during the last Star Wars? Who knows? But
or was it all CG?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Could have been.
It looked filmed. Like, I mean, it's hard to tell these days, but anyway. And he also got the with Ian McDermott, I think, and Hayden Christensen, I think the billing was. Anyway, not important. I think the one of the biggest things was a lot of the suspense was kind of not there.
The third sister.
Well, just like in general, not there, because it's like, okay, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader are gonna fight. Well, neither one of them are gonna die because we know what happens. All right, the third sister is gonna go here and she's gonna, well, Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru aren't gonna die. Luke's not gonna die. So it's like, okay, well, something's gonna happen, but they're not gonna die. Like, nobody's dying in this unless it's an ancillary character or whatever. Yeah, we had one major, minor death of that guy that got blowed up from the thing. It's not too death heavy in this series, because you have to live in these boundaries of, this is what happened in episode 3, this is what happened in episode 4. You can do whatever you want between, but they have to end up where they end up. Also, the Grand Inquisitor, I think they should make those like Beats by Grand Inquisitor headphones he's got on there. I don't know what those are, but those look pretty cool. I don't know. Those are all my jokes, I think, from Obi-Wan. Lightsabers are cool. Darth Vader's cool. They should have had more Darth Vader and Hayden Christensen stuff. I agree. Should have been in it a little more, but I see, this is Obi-Wan the series, not Darth Vader the series. So, I mean, it was a fun ride, and I'm glad that the care that they took to make this series, and it wasn't, slapdash or anything like that. The stuff with Leia at the end was very nice,
Right.
It was good. Good job. Thumbs up. Two thumbs.
And I think
all up.
I think for people watching the story, I completely agree. But then I say, okay, remember, this is Disney Plus. Compare it to Boba Fett. Compare it to The Mandalorian. Now, where do you feel like it fits? Because now, like you said, what's going to happen because we all know the characters, their futures. But when you compare the lightsaber battles, the background story with the characters you didn't know so much about, the Inquisitors, and then also the final fights, compare it to those series, and then see how do you feel. There's not as much, exactly what you said, there's not as much anticipation or mystery in what's happening, but do you feel a connection with those characters? I mean, and for me too, the Thea character and her the way she goes out, another spoiler here, is pretty much giving up her own life, and then her droids there with her, like right there at that last scene. That
she
is
died.
an
I forgot she
intense
died
scene.
too. That droid's cool. He doesn't know how to talk, and he just
that droid's cool. Yeah, he's like super powered, and then his last scene is protecting her base. I mean, that hits you in the feels like the Mandalorian. If you switch back to that, and the protector droid with Grogu at that time, you thought it was Baby Yoda's name. Like real good comparisons to when they put that in a 6-episode show. So, and I think I'm going to say it just with you, Andrew, the lightsabers, bringing it into Star Wars, into live action, because that's like one of the coolest things when Ahsoka shows up in the Star Wars that we saw, and then, the Mandalorian, you see those lightsaber battles, like stuff like that. That gets you into the show of Star Wars.
Lightsabers are cool. Like, what? Like,
yeah.
Also,
cool.
you brought up
and then
Darth Vader's
Vader.
cool. Obi-Wan Kenobi's cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. Like, make more stuff with lightsabers in it. I don't know. Also, you brought up that scene where they're like, the stormtroopers are there or whatever, and they're like, close the big door. They're shooting at the big door. How are they talking between that big old door? I was like, oh, I know what's going to happen. He's going to put his hand on the door, and they're going to force talk with each other. And he's like, but then they were just like, hey,
really
so
talking.
You should stop shooting at us. Oh, no, we're going to come get you. Okay. Like,
good point.
That's like a big old door, and they're just talking through it like nobody's like problem. I don't know. I thought that was funny. I thought they were going to do some Force thing, like, okay, he's reading that the Force and and that didn't happen. They're just talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of surprises in this one for me. Like I said, I'm not as huge a fan as other people are when it comes to the Star Wars franchise. I like the films. I've liked everything I've seen on Disney Plus so far. I'm not a hardcore enough fan to be able to nitpick a lot of it. I'm still kind of learning the worlds and the characters and how they're all connected in a lot of ways. Like, I've had a lot of help because of the podcast that I've had to research a lot, so I've learned a lot about the Star Wars universe. In I think a very short time, right? I think in the last, now it's been 5 or 6 years that I've been doing this a lot more, but I mean, I enjoyed this show. I think there was a lot that helped bridge the gap between the films and like what we've known so far. It helped establish the relationship between Leia and Obi-Wan and why she calls on him, in A New Hope, and, why that connection exists to begin with. And I don't know. I don't really have much to complain about. If there was anything, it's probably one of the same complaints that I have for like all the other films in general. And that's one, if you can sense that there's another Jedi or someone else, like because you're Force sensitive, like there was a scenes with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader where Obi-Wan tries to sneak up on him and Darth Vader turns around just in time, or like the third sister tries to sneak up on Darth Vader and he like turns around just in time. Like if you can feel it coming, like why don't you just anticipate it? Like if you can tell the future, like why aren't you prepared for that?
Also, sometimes sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
At the end, after Obi-Wan comes from under the rocks and like he sneaks up on Darth Vader's like, "Ah!" and gets him by
There's
surprise.
like no damn consistency when it comes to that.
And then when the third sister's like going after Owen and Varu, and Owen like falls off a thing and twists his ankle, and then he's like, "Varu, she's coming!" And then she's like standing on the other side of the door. She opens the door and gets whacked by a thing. I'm like, how did you not see that coming?
Exactly.
You're like Sith, whatever. Like, why does it work sometimes and why does it work the other time? Somebody explain that.
Right.
I guess you have to like be paying attention to it. I don't know. I guess if your mind's elsewhere, I don't know how this works, but I agree with you on that, Heyzen.
And then Darth Vader seems like common bad guy trope, like from horror films. Like everyone's moving at like 600 miles an hour and he's like barely taking a step and like swatting a lightsaber, and he's like, he's doing it so poetically and everybody's out of breath and stuff, and he's like, whatever, this is child's play to me, right? So there's that. And
but
then
Darth Vader, I think, started that, like 1977. I think Darth Vader has a right to
okay,
to
all
be
right,
the
fair
trope.
Fair enough. That okay, I'll take that one.
He almost stopped a whole ship.
Oh,
if
dude,
you saw that. He
that
pulled
was
it back.
insane.
Yeah,
that
so
was
it's like,
that, which brings me to my last point.
And then the whole switcheroo.
Yeah, which brings me to my last
Nice.
point. It's insane to me how Sith and Jedi have these insane fights in all the films, all the shows, everything, right? Not just in this one. And like the Jedi come out on top, yeah, they're scrappy and everything, whatever, right? Like they come out on top,
Young,
they're the good
scrappy,
guys
and
and
hungry.
stuff. But like
Oh,
it
nice.
seems that if you use the Force in a negative way, you seem to get stronger, faster, and you just know how to control it way more. So then, if that's the case, why don't you just learn both ways of the Force so that you know how to control it and you're like a better fighter?
That would be Darth Vader. That's why he's so strong, because he knows both
I
ways
get
of
that.
the Force.
But why
That's-
doesn't
They turn
everybody
evil.
else? That's my question.
Because they're too goody
They don't have it.
goodies.
They don't have the midi. They don't have the midi-chlorides. The little
Midichlorians.
things the chlorians, the things inside of your Jedi that makes you a Jedi. They don't have that. So that's that thing that makes it. And technically, Luke and Leia don't have completely, because wherever where Darth Vader, Anakin comes from, in that point, it's like they're a separate, because technically, Padme isn't a Jedi, so like she only has half of what, or they only have half.
So he's
from
like
their father.
50%
So it's like,
Jedi.
yeah, so it's
I don't know.
It's like this thing that he's like the ultra bad thing. He had the chance to be something important, but he got too jaded by, I think, the Force. You have to look at it in a way of, it's like your mind. When you focus it in your most clear state, then you're the best with that you can be. But when you have like, you could have ultimate power and focus on the hate and anger, and you're like really strong, right? But then you're blinded by that at the same time. You don't have peace with it. So you continue to build an ego, which makes you worse than what you were before. You fall with that. So I think that's kind of the theme of it. But I get it. If you're looking at like powers, like just straight powers against each other, it is confusing because things change so frequently.
I was
that's
talking.
the hard
So this
part.
is a conversation I was having with a coworker, and he knows all kinds of stuff about Star Wars. And he was telling me about I'm assuming it's in the books and other Star Wars media, gray Jedis, and apparently that's a thing that they know both, and then they just kind of like, I don't know, tote around and do both. I don't know what they are, but I know that's a thing that's in books and stuff, and maybe it's too complicated of a thought to, or like a thing to put in a movie, and it's easier to explain in a book or a graphic novel or something. But it seems to be that might be explained in other Star Wars media that just we haven't delved into.
Cross that path.
So
Yeah.
they haven't explained it in this, and I'm not gonna go read 8 billion Star Wars. I can't talk. Star
Star Wars.
Wars. That's the new series on Disney Plus. Star Wars. But yeah, there's so much Star Wars stuff out there that I think it's hard for
Right.
anybody to just climb that mountain and get through all that stuff. So they need to make it a little more palatable, and maybe throw some gray Jedis into stuff, and then maybe it'll make us
Could
more
happen.
sense.
But-
Maybe it'll be in Ahsoka Tano series.
Yeah, but are these great Jedis that he's talking about considered part of canon or legends now?
Well, it's in the book, so I'm assuming it's Legends, but I'm assuming that they can do the thing that Marvel does and say, all right, we want to do this, yank it out and
throw
plop it in a
there.
movie.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want, they do whatever, so,
So you're saying that Vader was even stronger than Palpatine?
Yeah, and he picked him up and threw him in a
sure.
hole. He was a weak old man, and then he picked him up and threw him down a hole.
At his prime. I'm like if you're thinking like Palpatine at his prime, or like all these other Darths, right? Like, are we saying Vader is like the wow,
Yeah.
okay. All right, well, it seems like I got some more learning to do.
That's why that's that master role he has with Darth Vader. It's that he's given into the master role with Palpatine, so you won't turn his back on him
until he third sisters him, right?
All
You guys ever play that Star Wars game, the Force Unleashed game?
The one on the Wii?
Yeah, the one on the Wii. I think that on Xbox too.
Oh, I never. got to play
that's a
it.
good game, and you can be Darth Vader, and it's cool. And then you're like,
There you
you're
go.
like Dark Walker. I don't know. It had some stupid name, but it's cool, and you gotta throw rocks around. Anyway,
Walker,
that's a plug
Texas
for,
Ranger?
Yeah, your name's like what is it?
Throwing rocks around was really cool. I'll admit that, Andrew.
Throwing
I'll admit that too.
rocks
Throwing
around
something
is
about throwing
cool.
rocks around.
Like that just seems cool. I'm sure
Yeah.
somebody has played this game and knows the name off the top of their head and is yelling at me, but it's something weird. Force Unleashed character. Hold on, I'm gonna find it really quick because it's a silly name. Yeah, it's Star Killer. That's it. That's your character's name, Star Killer.
Oh.
So it's Star Killer Base. That's what that was named after, I guess. Star Killer, Darth Vader's apprentice.
Interesting.
Anyway, we're talking about Obi-Wan.
Yeah, what you were saying about the rock throwing and everything, I thought that was super cool. But you mentioned like the one scene that for me was like, what the hell, dude? Like when he goes and he grabs the ship as they're trying to leave, the scene you mentioned earlier, that for me was like, there was no effort, right? He just like wham, and he just like holds on to it. He's not shaking. He's nothing. He's just
He was angry.
Still holding it. And I'm
angry.
like,
So and that's why his force is like super at that moment. Like he feels people behind him. The anger is at full stake, and the part of it too is about having that ego. He's mad now. He got tricked. So he's like, you think I'm stupid? That's why that whole scene plays in. Like he's like telling you think I'm dumb? Oh, you're about to be surprised, and that's when because he got
You
fooled.
talking to me?
He's Superman.
I'm Darth Vader.
I gotta go watch this again. I feel like now that we're talking about it, like things are like coming together more for me now, and I feel like I'm gonna appreciate watching it through one more time. Like now that I have the context, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna unleash more Star Wars into my brain than I would have wanted.
Star Killer.
Star Crusher, Star Killer.
You're saying that, Larry, and all I can think of is now is like, what if Darth Vader sounded like Joe Pesci? That would be funny.
Oh, jeez.
Like, you
Another
think I'm
voice
dumb,
change.
huh? Like,
You think I'm dumb?
All right, I think that's a great place to end. I think the silliness needs to come to an end. So
you mean you don't
There it is.
want like another hour of me forgetting what I'm
pretending to be
talking
Joe
about
Pesci
and
as
me?
Darth Vader?
I can't do it. Yeah, that's for the Patreon. We'll put that on for the FGP. Joe Pesci, Darth Vader.
an entire
No promises.
set, okay? An
Yeah,
entire
it's
set.
gonna be like a staged reading. But first, I have to learn a Joe Pesci impression. But
Nice.
anyway, let's end this episode. Let's land this ship.
That's
Nice.
it. That's going to wrap it up. If you have any thoughts on the ending of Obi-Wan, the entire series, join the conversation over on Discord. We'd love to know your thoughts. You know, I wanted to have the channel on Discord where we could talk about things and be spoilerific and everything, but there was a flaw in that plan, and that was that everybody kept getting alerts that somebody posted in that channel, and I tried to turn them off. I tried to do a couple of things that were suggested to me, and for some reason it couldn't be done globally. Like everybody had to do it on their own, and that's a horrible experience because that means that new people joining the Discord weren't going to know to turn it off unless I put it in like the rules or something and you had to agree to it. Oh, maybe I could do that. Before you can see the channel, you have to agree or hit like a toggle or something that enables the channel, but only after you set it to that. Like there's a trigger. Okay, I got an idea.
You got some work to do.
I do have some work to do.
I'm about to
Okay.
say.
Whew,
Okay.
that was cool. All right, so
Figuring it out.
I'm gonna keep
Back
working
on the
on that.
rails.
In the meantime, at least your thoughts. Hopefully, more people than not have seen it already, and we'll be able to talk about it a little freely. But join us over on Discord. If you're not yet a member, it's super easy to join. You can go to the blog post for this episode, podketeers.com/419. Click on the Discord logo. It'll ask you a couple of questions. You'll set up a password with your email, and you'll be set up, ready to go. You can also go to our Instagram and check out the pinned Instagram story with the Discord logo. Same process. Take you a couple clicks. You'll be joined up in no time. So that's it. That is going to wrap it up for this episode. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. May the Force be with you all.
See ya.
Nice. I can't believe you guys didn't do Halfway to Christmas.
Oh, we should have.
The sad Christmas music. There's your song.
Disneyland this week.
This week.
Disneyland this week.
Part of the Podketeers Network.